Welcome to Quick History. Welcome to Quick History. Welcome to Quick History.
Hello, welcome to Quick History. Today's subject is Harriet Tubman. She was a brave conductor on the Underground Railroad. Not that kind of conductor. Helping the enslaved escape to freedom. A leader on the Combahee River Raid in the Civil War that liberated over 750 enslaved men, women, and children. And a suffragist who fought for the right to vote for women.
All women.
Harriet was born into slavery in the year 1820 on the eastern shore of Maryland. For the next 19 years, she was held as human property, a slave, forced to serve as a maid, check muskrat traps in nearby marshes, drive oxen, plow, and haul logs, until she finally escaped to the free state of Pennsylvania in 1849. Once she had her own freedom, Harriet made many journeys to help others become free, and her journeys into the land of slavery put her at tremendous risk. But she used a variety of tricks to avoid deception. She once disguised herself with a bonnet and carried 2 live chickens to give the appearance of running errands. Finding herself walking toward a former owner in Maryland, she yanked the strings holding the birds' legs, and their squawks and flappings distracted him while she walked calmly by. Another time, Harriet recognized a fellow train passenger as a slave owner who knew her. She snatched a nearby newspaper and pretended to read, and since she was known to be illiterate, the man ignored her. Her most daring feat of rescue, though, was during the Civil War, when a United States Army force of black soldiers raided a collection of plantations along South Carolina's Combahee River. Harriet served as an advisor, accompanying the raid. When the steamboats sounded their whistles, the enslaved throughout the area knew they were being liberated, and Harriet was there to help them on board, even when they were carrying pigs. Over 750 people were freed, and the Boston newspaper, The Commonwealth, said, "Colonel Montgomery and his gallant black soldiers, under the guidance of a black woman, dashed into the enemy's country, striking terror into the heart of rebeldom, and brought off nearly 800 slaves without losing a man or receiving a scratch. It was followed by a speech from the black woman who led the raid. For sound sense and real native eloquence, her address would do honor to any man." After the Civil War ended with the United States preserved and slavery ended by the 13th Amendment to the Constitution, Harriet continued to fight for the rights of others. She became an outspoken and active suffragist, a person who fights for the right to vote. In this case, it was the right for all women to vote, since the 15th Amendment had given black men the vote as white men had. Once Harriet was asked whether she believed women ought to have the vote, and she replied,
I suffered enough to believe it.
Women of the United States didn't get the national right to vote until after Harriet died, but she had shown the way forward and could still proudly say,
I never ran my train off the track, and I never lost a passenger.
So, that's Harriet Tubman, conductor on the Underground Railroad, Civil War leader, and suffragist. And that's Quick History.